Hello and welcome back to Matt Hayes' Tottenham blog and to, I suppose, a spontaneous live stream tonight. Tottenham looking to go top of the table tomorrow as they face West Brom at the Hawthorns. We're going to bring you a bit of a preview tonight as well as a bit of an update on a few bits of news surrounding Spurs as well, and hopefully getting a lot of your opinions into the stream as well. A few Premier League results today that I suppose half went in our favour, half didn't go in our favour. We know Manchester United won 3-1 at Goodison Park today. One that I suppose Everton, a bit more of a competitor to us in the Premier League table, dropping 3 points there. We know they could have gone top with a win there. Manchester United, from their point of view, in the table, not much of a threat to us at all right now. That win bringing them up to 13th. They're still 4 points behind us. I suppose in a weird way, it's a good result for us. We know they're, according to Manchester Evening News, they've actually approached Mauricio Pochettino in the last couple of days, so the better form they're on while keeping away from us on the table is probably better news for us as we look to avoid seeing Poch at Old Trafford. Crystal Palace as well with a huge win, one that definitely surprised me. I'm sure it surprised a lot of other people as well, beating Leeds United by 4-1. A crazy VAR decision in that one for Patrick Bamford, his opening goal to be ruled out offside from his sleeve. It was a very weird one, but fair play to Crystal Palace for getting that one over the line. 3-goal victory there. And as well, Chelsea came back from a goal down early on to win 4-1 against Sheffield United. A good result, I suppose, for them. And a few of their new signings getting on the score sheet: Ben Chilwell, Thiago Silva and Timo Werner, all scoring for them as well. In the next couple of minutes, the final game of the day will be kicking off West Ham United against Fulham. Not one really that affects us in any way. Yesterday's results: Brighton drew 0-0 with Burnley, and Southampton beat Newcastle by 2-0 to go top of the Premier League table. It's the first time in their history they're actually top of the table, and the next team that will have a chance to knock them off the top of the tree is of course Spurs, and we face West Brom at the Hawthorns at 12 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. A place that we don't have the best luck in recent history, I suppose. We lost our last visit there. Darren Moore, when West Brom last got relegated, he took over towards the end of the season and did a very good job there, winning some big games for them, which included a 1-0 victory against Spurs. We haven't won there since January of 2015. When Christian Eriksen and Harry Kane were on the score sheet. Welcome Steve, Michael Smith and Caleb to the stream. So it's a big game for us tomorrow, and as you can see in the title, it is one that can put us top of the table. And traditionally, Spurs, when we get a good chance to get to where we want to be, whether it's in recent years the top four or those few chances we have had to go top of the table, the majority of the time we don't take those opportunities. And I suppose as a Spurs fan, there's always going to be that feeling that tomorrow is going to be the same. But I'm quietly confident going into this one. West Brom not on the best form, not surprising. I don't think anyone expected them to actually do anything in the league this season. They've had some decent results. They've had some poor results. They haven't won in at least 5 games. Getting their results here. They haven't won in a while anyway. They did manage to get a 3-3 draw against Chelsea, but that was after being 3-0 up. The most recent game, they lost 2-0 to Fulham. I think Fulham, a team that are destined to be going down this season, and for West Brom to be beaten so convincingly by them, there could have been a few more goals in that one. I think Fulham hit the woodwork towards the end of the game as well. And perhaps I think they had a penalty shout turned down. West Brom drawn a few games, drawn with Brighton, Burnley, Chelsea, as I mentioned as well. But it's going to be a tough game regardless, and going to the Hawthorns always is, but a big blow for us, I suppose. It's one that I know a lot of people won't agree with me on, but it's Eric Lamella and the update he's given us on his injury. And he posted this on Instagram yesterday. He said, "I have a problem on my foot and I have to be out of the field for a short time to fix it. I'm already working to get back in the best shape I can." And for me, Lamella is one of the most important players on our team. When we play a team like it was Burnley a couple of weeks ago, I was surprised he didn't start. There was this game against West Brom. And the game against West Ham, I suppose, those are the games where he really does do well. Lost Galaxy, Silver Surfer, and Steve, welcome along. See Steve Raddy started there in the chat as one of my 2 channel members. Arthur Everett is the other one. So thank you very much to the 2 of you. If any of you do want to become a member, we'll get back to Lamella in a second, but Steve has reminded me, if any of you do want to become a member, there are 3 options. You can hit the join button just below the video, or you can hit I don't think there's a link in the description. The join video just below the video. You get those 3 tiers there. Membership start at just £1.99 a month. If you want to support the channel and get a bit in return as well, and make sure to go down and check those out. So getting back to Lamella, we don't know how long he's going to be out for, and I think when he missed the game against Ludogorets during the week, and they said he had a little knock, and I think when it's Lamella, it's always a bit more concerning than when you hear that with any other player, because he's had a little knock keep him out for a year before. So there's a bit of concern there about how bad that injury actually is. And like I said, he's a really important player in our team. And for me right now, it's definitely a controversial opinion, but he'd be on my team sheet before Gareth Bale would, because when you're looking at our front three, we have Heung-min Son and we have Harry Kane who do the business. They get the goals, they get the assists, they do everything they need to do at that end of the pitch. And Eric Lamella is kind of a typical Jose Mourinho player in that he'll be clever in annoying, frustrating the opposition defence. He'll kick out at them. He'll do what he did to Anthony Martial in the game against Manchester United, which eventually saw the Frenchman getting sent off. So he is a kind of an unorthodox first name in the team sheet, if that makes any sense. Justin Grierson, good evening. Spurs to go top tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Now, from a West Brom point of view, they're in a really worrying situation at the moment. Slaven Bilic is apparently under mounting pressure as West Brom consider ending his 16-month reign as manager, and they could take action after Sunday's clash with Tottenham Hotspur. Slaven Bilic is on the brink, and I've just lost the post there. There he is. He's on the brink with West Brom considering sacking their manager, which is of course an added pressure on West Brom, but also it can be that kind of extra motivation that they do need to go out and get a result against Spurs. As we know, they do perform well against Tottenham. So it'll be an interesting kind of added flavour to the game. Hopefully it's the pressure gets to them more than anything else, and we can manage to get that victory over the line, but we'll have to wait and see how that one goes for us tomorrow. 12 o'clock kickoff, as I said. In terms of score predictions, it's such a difficult one, because I know I'm kind of saying, West Brom have this added motivation. Spurs tend to mess up when they get in these situations, where we can tomorrow move to the top of the Premier League table. But I do feel as though this is one that we will get over the line, and I think we're going to have to be at our best. There's no doubt about that. West Brom are probably going to sit really, really deep, and we're going to have to break them down. It's definitely not going to be like when we played Southampton with Kane and Son able to exploit that high line. It's going to be a very, very different sort of game. I'm not sure on the precise team news. I know Lo Celso still isn't fully fit, and I'd be surprised if we did see him from the start. So I think we'll be in midfield of Højbjerg and Ndombele and Sissoko again. Reguilon, of course, missed that game during the week through illness. I haven't seen any updates on him now. I've been at work all day. There could have been something even from Jose Mourinho in his pre-match conference yesterday. Sergio Reguilon also missed out that game during the week. And it was Alistair Gold with the update saying Sergio Reguilon trained with Tottenham on Thursday and is likely to be available to face West Brom. That's coming from Alistair Gold. So I think Reguilon would be a very good addition to that team, and his crossing ability, his final ball delivery is definitely something that we will need on the pitch. I think Ben Davies did well against Ludogorets on Thursday, but it's Ludogorets, and he's definitely not our first left back option, and thankfully he was out of centre back, and I don't think we will see him there again. I think it will be Alderweireld and Dyer. I wouldn't be surprised, I suppose, if Sanchez does start to kind of match the pace of Callum Robinson up front, but I would be very, very surprised if we do see Ben Davies in centre back on that one. Michael Smith saying 1-0 to Spurs. Steve Ruffhead saying, will Harry beat the record? I'm not entirely sure what record you're on about, but whatever it is, he will. I'm gonna go with a yes. There's so many records that he's been smashing. He's already broken records this season. Most goal contributions after 5, 6, 7 games. He's, of course, the assist record is in sight now with 7 or 8 in the Premier League. The record being 20 for Thierry Henry. I think he has his eyes on Alan Shearer's record. He's eyes on Jimmy Greaves' records for England and Spurs. And it's going to be a very exciting couple of years with Harry Kane, and I think it's one that will see us, that could definitely see us bring in a few trophies, and he's definitely the man that we need at the top of the pitch in order to do that. We're building a team around him now who can help provide that, in the likes of Son, who's really hitting the best form of his career, Højbjerg, who's proven to be a very, very important player for us in our team, and Ndombele, who is becoming the player that we thought we signed a year ago. Silver Surfer saying Lo Celso should start if they are going to park the bus. And I agree, his creativity and his passing ability will definitely help us unlock that defence. But Jose Mourinho was talking about him after the game against Ludogorets, and he wasn't slagging him or anything. He does know the quality of player that Lo Celso is, and it's something he's spoken openly about, that when he first came into the club, he didn't see any future there for Lo Celso. But slowly, when he started to get to full fitness and he started to adapt to the Premier League, Mourinho realised just how good a player he is. He was a bit critical of his performance against Ludogorets, but it is down to his fitness and the injuries that he seems to be getting on a consistent basis. Mr. K, welcome to the stream. Jonathan Black saying I want to see Rodon soon, and I do as well, to be honest. My audio. I think he there's no reason why he shouldn't be in the team. He's gotten a lot of praise from the likes of Ben Davis and Gareth Bale. He was the first name in the team sheet for Swansea. They're absolutely devastated to see the back of him, and our defence this season has been poor, so I think he deserves a chance. He at least deserves a chance to prove himself, and if it doesn't work out for him, if he's given the chance and he doesn't take it, then I don't think he can complain too much about being left out of the team then, but he definitely deserves a chance, and I look forward to seeing him on the pitch as well. Paddy asking, any chance Bale starts? And look, it's a possibility. It's definitely a possibility, but I wouldn't say it is probable. I wouldn't bet on it at all, because you know how much Jose Mourinho likes to rotate. And look, with Lamella being out, of course that's one option less. But Lucas and Bergwijn are there as well, and Bale, of course, starting against Ludogorets on Thursday. We know Mourinho does like to rotate those Thursday night and Sunday morning teams, and Bale is a good option. Look, it wouldn't be, of course, it wouldn't be a bad thing if he did start getting his first goal against Brighton last Sunday. I see JR last seen there asking about Lamella's injury, and as I was saying earlier in the stream, Lamella has posted on Instagram about the injury, and he said I have a problem on my foot, and I have to be out of the field for a short time to fix it. I'm already working to get back in the best shape I can, and we haven't given any sort of a time frame. I don't think there's been any official communication from the club about the injury, but we can see the boot there on Lamella's on his right foot. So it does seem to be precautionary. It doesn't look as though it is a particularly bad injury, but with the problems he's had with, I think he's had a foot injury, he's had an ankle injury, he's had quite a few injuries, so I think every precaution does need to be taken to ensure that he doesn't end up on the sidelines for really lengthy spells like he has in the past. But as I said, we have those options in there. We have Lucas, we have Bergwijn, we have Bale, we of course have Carlos Vinicius as well. There's so many players in there who are just as good and who can play in that first team as well. Crimson saying, or Steve first of all saying, Greaves' record, the 266 and 379 appearances. Oh, and he's on course to do it. I would not be surprised if he does do it. It's a sensational record that Jimmy Greaves set, and it would take a world-class player to even come close to it, but I think Harry Kane definitely has a chance of beating that. Niall, welcome to the stream. Crimson saying Harry Winks is the most average player in the squad, and look, Winks splits opinion. And at times he manages to split it for me as well, because I've been a big fan of him. I uploaded a video on my channel last year with a lot of other Tottenham creators, kind of, I suppose, emphasising the good parts of Harry Winks' game and talking about why he does get in that team so consistently. And I think since then he had to let himself down. He's not been the same level of player that he was. I suppose when that video was made, and he really thrived under Pochettino, or the best part of his career was under Pochettino, and I don't know if he fits into the Jose Mourinho team as much as we would like. And I don't know if I'd say he's average. He's very inconsistent. When he plays well, he plays really well. You know, I remember the game against Manchester City at the new White Hart Lane last year when we beat them 2-0. He was influential in that. We had a few games in the Champions League in the past. I remember one against, or even two against Real Madrid, where he ran the midfield against the likes of Luka Modric and Toni Kroos. He has the ability there. It's just we can't seem to get it out of him at the moment, which is quite worrying. And it's a similar situation to what we're seeing with Dele Alli and with Carlos Vinicius struggling to get into the first team, whereby because of the options that we have in there, they're not being given the game time to try and turn their form around. They'll be given chances, maybe 45 minutes on a Thursday, or maybe half an hour on a Sunday, and they're not getting enough time to turn that form around, and they're not being given enough chances to prove themselves. But we can't afford to to maybe throw away 2 points on a Sunday and risk losing on a Thursday because we want to get this player back playing better, because we have the options to avoid doing that. And especially in that midfield now with Ndombele and Lo Celso hitting form, we've Højbjerg coming in being absolutely outstanding, Sissoko is playing really well as well. It's going to be quite difficult for Winks and Ali as well to get into that first team. Tarek saying, I really want to see Ndombele and Lo Celso playing together, but it's not realistic right now. Mourinho doesn't want to play them together, and I'm not sure it's a case of Mourinho not wanting to do it. Of course, that is a possibility, but as we were saying, Lo Celso's fitness at the moment is letting him down, and Mourinho is in a way being kind of critical of of Lo Celso's performance. He definitely did that against Ludogorets, kind of pinpointing the areas where he was disappointing. I think Ndombele and Lo Celso have only started together once in together in their time at the club, which is absolutely bizarre because they've been here for Ndombele for 16 months now and Lo Celso for 15 months. So hopefully we will get to see that a bit more going into the future, because I think a midfield of Højbjerg and Ndombele and Lo Celso wins trophies for definite. Jonty saying, who is your favorite team after Spurs? And yeah, that's a tough question, to be honest. There's a few teams that have kind of a soft spot for. I suppose Huddersfield will be one of them. Plymouth Argyle rather, surprisingly, I'm sure. But I don't really have a favourite team outside of Spurs. I suppose I work in I work for Opta, and they're different leagues that they code, and Plymouth was one of my teams that I was supposed to be coding. It's a Chinese team as well, Chongqing, who I suppose I'd have a soft spot for because of that. But I wouldn't really say I have any favourite team outside of Spurs. There's other ones that I suppose I keep an eye out for the scoreline, but that's about it. Mr. K saying, I think fans are being a little hard on Winks. He's still a young player. He's still a young player, and we should be grateful that we have young players like him coming from the academy. And I'm going to bring in David Harris to have a little discussion about Harry Winks, because I know he loves talking about a lot of these players. David, how are you getting on? Sorry, just one sec. Is your audio on, David? Sorry, just 1 second there. Can you hear me, David? Sorry, I'm just going to turn off the stream. Perfect. Here we go. We got him in there in the end. David, how are you?
Not too bad, man. And yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Just have a question there. Comment coming in about Harry Winks. I thought I'd get your opinion on it. I think fans are being a little hard on Winks. He's still a young player. We should be grateful that we have young players like him coming from the academy. What have you made of Harry Winks in the last couple of weeks?
Look, I get all the sentimental value. He's one of our own, this, that, and the other. Look, I bought it for so long, man. This guy has had since Ndombele left in January to stake his claim in the starting lineup. Okay, look, he does all these 5-yard passes. He thinks he's running around thinking he's the great lad. Yeah, look, I can get every once in a while you need someone that can keep possession, but the guy just doesn't influence a game. Like you're talking, you can remember one or two performances that he's had. One against Madrid there. Do you know what I mean? In 2 years, it's not good enough. He doesn't affect the game. Like you look at Højbjerg, we signed him in the summer. This guy is just affecting games left, right, and centre. He's all over it. And for me, Winks isn't good enough. He just isn't good enough. He reminds me of Tom Carroll that we had a few years ago. And like, look, a lot of people blamed him for the goal against Ludogorets. Personally, I didn't think it was his fault. I thought it was Davies. Davies let him in, cut inside too easily. So I didn't agree with that. But at the end of the day, just this guy isn't good enough. If we're going to win a Premier League, if we're going to win any trophies, it'll be without Harry Winks. And no team will win a trophy with Harry Winks in their midfield. No team.
Yeah, I agree. And I was just saying, like, I think with the sheer quality that we have in that midfield, he's not going to be given the chance to prove himself in there, which is a bit upsetting for him, because he has, in the past been a decent player for us, and kind of when we were a bit weak in that midfield, he was able to step in, and without being too exceptional, he was a bit of a stopgap for us, and that he managed to tide us over. And we Steve here in the comments saying Winks is a squad player and that's it. He's not good enough for a first team place permanently. I think Steve's hit the nail on the head there. Martin saying as well, Winks should have blocked that third goal against West Ham, but he's too slow. And it is these kind of individual mistakes that have started to creep into his game, aside from his inability to affect things, that is to his detriment.
Yeah, that goal against West Ham, look, he was thoroughly at fault for that. Again, like that what happened against West Ham was just down to mentality for me, Matty. If that was me, I would have went through the two of them. I would have went through one after another. Not messing. It's a derby game. You just don't let that happen. You just don't let it happen. It's as simple as that. Like, I get it, it's 1 in a million strike, but you just don't let that happen. Look, ever since Dembele left that season and Winks filled in, we always found it hard to break teams down. In my opinion, this is what I was watching. We were barely getting through games. We were finding it hard to take control of games. And this is why I'm out here saying this guy is not good enough. Okay, I can get it. He can fill in against Ludogorets there. The other day he had a decent game. I nearly fell off my seat. He passed 2 forward in the first 2 minutes. I couldn't believe what was happening.
Yeah, it surprised us all.
Like either we sell him or else he has to just reassess his game and come back and bring something different.
Yeah, I think another player who somehow manages to split opinion as much as Winks does is Eric Lamella. And we've Crimson here saying Lamella is best player when pushing the opponents, and Martin saying I agree, Lamella is critical to our team. He's the best attacking presser in our team. He has this new injury now. He posted on it about it on Instagram. We're not entirely sure how long this could be. Do you think he'll be a big loss for us if it is even a medium-term injury?
Yeah, Lamella, he's going to be a huge loss. Like I can get, look, some fans get on his back about just not passing the ball. I can get that. But what this guy offers is something that you don't see in many other Premier League teams at the minute, which is why it's special and we need to keep it, is his aggressiveness. He's pressing from the front. He's willing to run for the jersey. His commitment in tackles. And every team needs a player like that. You look at Liverpool, they have Henderson who does that in the middle. Up until this summer, actually, I was always Lamella out. My old lad's a big Spurs fan, and we always talk Tottenham as well. And he was always a big fan, to be honest. He always said to me, look, no, we need to keep this guy. He's a good player. And I was like, but he's always injured. But it's only this season and towards the back end of last season, I suppose, where I kind of want to really open my eyes and seeing what this guy actually does bring.
Yeah, and it's not the fancy flicks and the tricks and creating chances and scoring goals and getting assists. It's kind of a Mourinho type of aggression, but a clever aggression, I suppose, that he does bring in to the team. We all know that quote from Jose Mourinho when he was asking them to be in that Amazon documentary, and it seems as though Lamella is that player, because we Steve here saying Lamella's aggression is the best asset, but it's controlled and it's clever and it always works to our benefit. And I suppose I said for me in our front three after Kane and Son, I think Lamella is the next name on the team sheet, even ahead of Gareth Bale, because he does offer something kind of different. And without him tomorrow, of course, we have to make a different decision. Who would you like to see starting beside Kane and Son in that game against West Brom?
I'd like to see giving Bale his first chance in the Premier League. I believe this guy's just waiting for this. He just wants to make his mark in English football again. I'd love to see Bale. But then you also have the other argument. Lucas also does a lot of work. Look, his end product isn't great at times. We all know that. That's why I prefer to start Bale, because at least then you'll have great balls coming in from both sides rather than just defend some side. Because look, we all know Lucas, he doesn't really have much end product. But again, his work rate, and against teams like West Brom, it's also needed. We're playing West Brom tomorrow, and again, if you're willing to outrun them and you're willing to put the work in, there's no reason why we shouldn't be coming away with 3 points tomorrow, regardless of who we play.
And I think it's that kind of, I'll keep using the word, with that aggression that I think will get us through this game tomorrow. It's a similar sort of game to Burnley. We're going to have to fight for every single ball, and it's the likes of Højbjerg and Sissoko in the middle of the park, and even to some extent in Ndombele with the way he's come on this season. That could be really important to us, getting that one over the line. And we haven't won at West Brom since 2015 with Eriksen and Kane on the score sheet in a 3-0 victory. We lost 1-0 last time we visited there in the Premier League, but we're in a situation now where it's really simple. We win at West Brom, we go top of the table, and I know it's only for a couple of hours because of course we've Leicester and we've Liverpool playing on Sunday as well, but it's a big mentality boost no matter who you are, even if it is just for a really short period of time, to see your name on top of the Premier League table. I know I said it to you on one of the podcasts recently that I've only seen Tottenham top of the table for 13 minutes in my lifetime, and I think we'll hopefully see something a bit longer than that. How much do you think that that kind of mentality and just seeing us on the top of the table could affect the team going into, I suppose, coming out of the international break?
Well, look, we sat here a few weeks ago and we said, looking at Burnley, Brighton and West Brom, if we take 9 points from that's all we can ask. Doesn't matter how you get them, and put the points on the board. Because, look, I know people have been critical saying we're just getting over the line. You need to get over the line. At the end of the day, you can play pretty football and lose, or you can play ugly and win. And these sort of games, unfortunately, you can do both in. But I think Mourinho are using, I noticed when we go a goal up, Mourinho tends to instruct the players to sit back a bit. And I think he's personally trying to implement a plan coming into the latter end of the season to prove and give them the confidence that we can hold on to these 1-0 results. But to see our name on top of the table, look, it's where we want to be. It's where they want to aspire to. I've been waiting all my life to see Spurs lift the trophy. And being top of the pile is where you want to be, because the rest are only chasing. Look, I know Liverpool and Leicester are still playing later on that day. Liverpool playing City. I hope City are out for blood and they can take the 3 points off Liverpool. I don't know who Leicester are playing, because to be honest with you, Matty, they with Brendan Rodgers, they always come to a crumble near towards the end of the season. It's always a Brendan Rodgers team. That's what they do. They run themselves into the ground. Last few months they're out of it. So I'm not worried about them. Liverpool will be the people I'd be worried about right now. Even Chelsea there today, they won 4-1. Sky Sports are lapping it up. They're playing Sheffield United. Sheffield United just haven't turned up this season at the end of the day. And they're lauding them. I'm not having any of that either. To see us top of the table is where we want to be. And you best believe, even if it's for a few hours, I'm going to love it. I'm going to rub it in, and I'll be out and I'll be singing. I'm not messing. And
I'll be the same. Yeah.
Look, coming towards the end of the season, and plus it gives them a big boost. And as well, it means we've learned from past mistakes that these big games we can get over the line. You know, and it does matter. It does matter. Like, if we go top tomorrow, it puts a big psychological it's a big psychological boost for us, and it puts Liverpool in a position going into the City game where they kind of have to go for it. They have to win, and that could backfire. They're not the best defensively at the minute, and like I said last time, I'm not worried about. So to be top of the table, it's a dream come true, Matty. And hopefully we get an early Christmas present, and Christmas wish will be on top by Christmas as well.
It's a crazy thought, even to be sat here talking about it, given where we were this time a year ago, sitting 14th in the table with the rumours, of course, circulating around Pochettino. Leicester on Sunday are at home to Wolves, which is, and I say you don't care about them, that's still quite a difficult fixture, and it's not one you'd be confident that you could come out of with 3 points. There's a few people here asking about Joe Rodon. Michael saying, do you think Joe Rodon will get the start tomorrow? I think we are going to see rotation. I was saying about 10-15 minutes ago that I think Rodon deserves the chance. He hasn't done anything, I suppose, in his time at Tottenham to earn it, but given how poor defence has been so far, a partnership of Alderweireld and Dyer, one that inside sources are claiming Mourinho isn't happy with. We saw in the transfer window, Jose Mourinho apparently claiming he was happy with the defensive options he did have, but on the other hand, we've seen very poor performances on the pitch and only 2 clean sheets in all competitions this season. Do you think we will see Joe Rodon? And if we do you think it would be the right decision?
I'd love to see Joe Rodon getting a run out. But at the end of the day, I still think we should stick with Dyer and Alderweireld if the two of them are fit. Sanchez for me is on borrowed time at this minute. I wouldn't start him. Look, I'd love to give Rodon a go. He was bought on the back of Bale's advice. As I understand it, Bale raves about this lad, and if Bale's raving about this lad, then we definitely have a player on our hands. And hopefully, if he does get the chance, Matty, he takes it, because look, there's a spot open there at centre back if he wants to take it with both hands. Because if not, Tanguy will be back, and when he gets back, I'm sure he'll put his hands on that jersey. Another one of our own. Look, centre back is a big issue. Mourinho may have came out and said he was happy, but obviously he wasn't if we're in the market for Skriniar. Look, anyone can stay switched on when the ball's in front of you. It's set pieces when we tend to switch off. And again, it comes down to mentality and all. And look, Alderweireld, he's what, 31, 32 now? I don't really know if he's going to change. Dyer, I'm not sure about him either. Look, at the end of the day, I suppose Dyer is kind of straightening himself out a bit. But look, Rodon has a massive chance if he plays tomorrow to stake a claim, especially because I think we're going to win something this year. So if he wants to be that's the bigger picture for him.
Yeah, he could definitely go down in the history books if we can manage to. If he doesn't make it into that first team and manage to win a trophy this season, which I think the confidence is continually growing. And as we mentioned, one of those players that has been a key part to our improved form this season is Tanguy Ndombele. We heard from Fabrizio Romano during the week on the Here We Go podcast that Barcelona are interested in signing him. If there is going to be any move, it'll be in next summer. So we will see Tanguy Ndombele finish the season out at Spurs. Are you surprised that so quickly after he hits form that we're starting to hear these rumours already? And I suppose when it's coming from Romano, it is more than a rumour. It's almost guaranteed that Barcelona are interested in signing him. Are you surprised and are you concerned?
Surprised, no. Concerned, no. Look, Barcelona, for all that's in the press about them, they can't afford it. They had to sell a lot of their best players over the summer to try and balance books. They can't afford it. So I'm not worried. No. Surprised again? No. Look, this is a player. We always said if you could just get fit, there's a baller in him. I'm surprised his attitude changed. I'm not surprised that his quality. We always seen he had the quality. I'm surprised that his attitude changed. Mourinho managed to turn him around. This guy is quality. He gets stuck in. Not only does he get stuck in, he can play. He's calm. He can pick passes. He can beat players. So personally, and anyway, I think he will stay, especially if we're successful this year. I have no worries about him going. Another one of Reguilon. That's the person I'd be concerned about.
Yeah, and again, Romano saying it does look as though we could lose him to Real Madrid in the next couple of years, and he's struggling. Or Real Madrid are struggling with their form at left back, Marcelo, hitting a very concerning period of form this season. And look, I feel like we talk about Dele Alli every time on every podcast or whenever I do speak to you, but Martin Hawkins is asking here, would we take 40 or 50 million for Dele Alli right now? We got more news on that during the week. It was Calcio Mercato in Italy. Not the most reliable source out there, but they are a source nonetheless, saying that Tottenham could be going back in, or will be going back in for Milan Skriniar in January. We'll be attempting to re-sign Christian Eriksen in the same move, which could also see Danny Rose and Dele Alli go the other way. I know I've asked you this quite a bit, but just to reiterate, do you think Ali's days at Spurs are numbered?
I said it's the start of the season, and a lot of people were kind of like, what's this lad on? I could foresee it. At the end of the day, this guy hasn't produced in I don't know how long. Mourinho's trying to give him chances. He lets him down. And to me, listen to what Pochettino was saying as well. I think it's his attitude. It's his lifestyle off the pitch to me. He doesn't turn up to train. When he does, he's lazy. And again, you see that's his type of style to play out on the pitch as well. If this guy could just knuckle down, he'd be world class. He's world class at what he does. To me, he's more of a confidence player. When his confidence is high, he's good. And when it's low, you're going to see the worst Dele Alli. Would I take 50 million right now? It's a hard one to say. Look, we could sell him, and it could come back to bite us in the ass. He could become one of the best players in the world. Yeah. Sentimental reasons, Matty, I'd like to keep him. But look, he's not a young lad anymore either. It's up to him now what way his career goes. It's no one else's. It's not his agents. It's not his manager. It's up to him, and he needs to really sit down long and hard and think about whether he wants to stay at Spurs, and if he does, whether he's going to put his all behind the manager or not. This whole Christian Eriksen thing as well, I want to address. I don't want this guy back near the club. This guy sold out. He didn't want to be here. He was already gone at the start of last season. He held out till January. There's no way I want this guy back. He showed his true colours. He wanted out. He sold out. Good riddance. And same as Danny Rose. You see a lot of fans there saying, "Oh, it's sad to see him play the under-23s." Danny Rose, I'll always remember that debut goal he scored against Arsenal. I'll forever be in my mind. But again, the guy was constantly in the media leaking stuff. He's a bad attitude. And the guy's just not at the level anymore. And even when he was at the level, he was always trying to engineer a move to United or City for a big pay packet. So again, good riddance to that. I don't want any of these players on our squad anymore. If we're going to be challenged for titles, we can't be holding on to players for sentimental reasons either. Good riddance. And I definitely don't want Eriksen back in the door. He sold out, so good luck. And I'm delighted that hasn't worked out for him, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, it's such a different situation that we were in when you look at, I suppose, towards the end of the Pochettino era. You Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen, I suppose the three of them, Danny Rose as well, kind of playing poor and not being the players that we have seen them to be in the past. But we had no other options, and we had to keep putting them out on the pitch, and there was no motivation there for them to improve because they knew no matter what they did, they were getting in that starting 11. And like I can't agree more with what you said about Dele Alli, and Steve in the comments as well saying, "I take 50 million in a heartbeat for Ali." Again, with sentimental reasons, I'd love to hold on to him. He's without coming through our academy, he's as close as you can get to being one of our own, and he's given us such great memories. And he was a fan favourite for so long, but we just can't afford to be carrying passengers anymore. And I'm sure that he's on a big enough wage packet in comparison to a lot of his teammates. And 50 million, if we could reinvest that properly, if we could spend that money on Milan Skriniar, that's a fantastic addition to our team, because if we're looking at our first team right now, Dele Alli doesn't offer anything aside from competition for those players. And Cesar Geraldo, thank you very much for subscribing. So So I think 50 million for Ali right now is definitely a very good option. As much as I love him, as much as I'd like to see him turn it around, I don't think that will happen. And I'd much rather Milan Skriniar in our first team than Dele Alli on our bench. Will L saying it's too early to get gassed about going top. We've played one top 6 side. Fixtures after the break will tell us where this team is at. We play Chelsea, we play Man City, we play Arsenal, all immediately after the international break. What do you think?
Look, it's never too early. I don't think Will L would even enjoy Christmas, to be honest with you. If you can't enjoy being top, what can you enjoy? And anyway, big up to Will L for commenting. Fair play. It's good to see people watching. Look, it can be too early, but as Spurs fans, it's short-lived. And even if it is short-lived, I may as well enjoy it and rub it in where I can. Mm-hmm. I'm a passionate football fan at the end of the day, so it's always exciting to see us go top. And you'd rather be at the top of the pile than the bottom of the pile. So that's my opinion on it. For definite,
yeah, I agree. It's again, it might only be for half an hour, it might only be for 2 hours, whatever it is. See Tottenham top of the table it's not something a lot of us have ever witnessed in our lifetime. So it would be, for me, and I know for you as well, personally, it would be a really magical thing to see, and it may not last long, but that's a problem for Sunday.
Look, mate, this club has hurt me over the years so much with semi-finals losses, final losses, and I mean, it's devastating when that happens. It hurts. It really does hurt. So to even see us, even with near a chance this year, I'm telling you, I'm going to enjoy it. And even if we don't win the league, we're still going to win a trophy. And at least I can say I enjoyed it the whole way through. I'm not just going to jump on the bandwagon when it comes to the crucial games and then try and enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it the whole way through. At the end of the day, you get more hurt following this club than you do thrills. So I'm just going to enjoy them while we can.
Yeah. And Will mentioning the games against the top 6, we played Manchester United, if you can even call them a top 6 side anymore. The only big team we played, we of course won 6-1 at Old Trafford. It's going to be a very different ball game facing Chelsea, Man City and Arsenal. Two of them, of course, derbies, and Man City on their day can beat anyone. Are you confident going into this period against these big teams that we are a different outfit to what we have been in the past? I think one of the main criticisms of Pochettino was his poor win rate against the top 6 sides. I suppose Mourinho in his time as a Premier League manager has been the complete opposite. He's gone to these big games, he's managed to get wins, whether it's playing amazing football or parking the bus and counter-attacking, mainly that 2-0 win against Liverpool, win the league for Man City. Are you more confident now going into these games than you would have been in recent years?
Look, City, the billionaire owners club, I'm confident. We've had the measure of them over the last few seasons, Champions League as well. So them, I'm not really too worried about. Plus, they're not the same team anymore. I think this could be Guardiola's last season in the Premier League. Oh, my phone's gone dead.
Oh, is your camera flipped there, I think, David? I think we just lost David there, but yeah, look, as he says, we have had the kind of measure of City in recent years. We've done quite well against them, getting results in the Champions League, knocked them out in that. We've beaten them a few times in the league as well. Getting, of course, that big moment with VAR, getting the draw against away at the Etihad last season. We're in a better position now, I think, to deal with these games against the big teams, and it's going to be very difficult playing any of the big teams, but especially when you're playing 3 of them in a row, it'll be a bit of a struggle. For sure, but I think with Jose Mourinho at the helm now, he's someone who knows how to win these games more than Pochettino did, because Pochettino was such an exceptional manager for us and he did so much. There was different times when he was still trying to figure things out, not only as a manager but also in the Premier League, because he never experienced that as a player, and his time at Southampton as a manager was the first time he ever experienced the Premier League, and then he came to Tottenham, he had that bit behind him, but then when we became a big team he never had that. Again, it was new for him from there, and it'll be very interesting, and it'll be a big test, and it will tell us quite a bit about the season ahead that we may have, but there's not much we can do than go into it with confidence, go into it with optimism, and hope that the team provide what we're expecting them, and for some of us, or what we're hoping, and for some of us what we're expecting them to provide. And if we do that, if we go into the international break, say we win against West Brom, even if Leicester and Liverpool get their victories, we go into the international break 2 points off the top of the table, and we go in then against these 3 games and these 3 teams, and we even get, say, 6 points out of the 9 against those teams, 5 or 6 points, we're in a very good position moving into the Christmas period, which is always a good one for us. we tend to in the last couple of years top the kind of the Christmas period table, even though it doesn't mean much. There's just not a lot of teams that do have good periods over the Christmas time with the various I think my connection's gone here. With the really hectic period that is there, and if we can manage to do well in that, there's no reason why we can't go into a title fight towards the end of the season. No, a lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't want to get carried away just yet, and that's fair enough. Some people are going to have a different opinion, and that's fair enough. But I think we're in a situation now where we kind of just have to be confident. We have to feel as though we can become the team that we've wanted to be for so long, because now we have this manager who can do that for us, and I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be completely confident in that. And I'm sorry, there's having a few problems here with the stream. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I do think we have David Harris back here. David, how are you doing?
Oh yeah, sorry about that, Matty. Phone died.
Oh, you're
back
grand.
on now.
Okay, no problem. You were talking about these games against the top six. You think we can get the wins?
Yeah, like I was saying, Man City, we've had no really problems with them over the last few years. We've always got over the line. Arsenal, look, it's a derby game. I hate these guys. I was there 2 years ago for the game up in Wembley, the derby. And look, their fans were being escorted down to the tube, and they were throwing bottles in at us and everything. These guys are scumbags. So we'll be up for this. Mourinho, hopefully, a fast start in all these games. That's what we seem to be seeing from Mourinho, is all these fast starts. Liverpool, that's going to be a test. That's our test right there. But look, I'd even take a win and 2 draws. I'd take a win against Arsenal, a draw against City, a draw against Liverpool. It puts us in a great position. So yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not worried. These are the games I'm getting excited for. I'm starting to get a bit bored of some of these Europa League games and all at the minute. These are the games I want. And then once we play these games, then we can kind of reassess and reevaluate where we are.
Mm-hmm. And we have Steve here in the comments saying it would be a good thing playing them all so close. If we get a result in the first game, it'll give the team a lot of momentum, and hopefully that can carry us on. I just want to remind everyone in the chat, you may see Steve Radistar's comments there. His name's in green. He's got an emoji beside him, and that's because he is a channel member. And I activated channel memberships on my channel last week. So if any of you do want to join that membership, we've all the options there on screen. Starting at just £1.99 per month, you can become a member. You get loyalty badges and custom emojis beside your name, and you've shout outs and videos and streams. And Steve might be able to send a few in there, the custom emojis with Jose Mourinho, with Harry Kane, with Gareth Bale, and we'll be adding Spurs players to those custom emojis as every week goes on. So if you do want to become a member, join button just below the video. As well, if you're enjoying this stream, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe as well if you are new. We have a podcast every week, and David, I'm sure you're loving his input here, is a consistent feature on that podcast. So make sure to go down and smash that subscribe button as well. Michael Smith is saying... Oh, sorry, go on.
Just one thing I want to address as well. Mourinho's handling of the squad over the last few weeks, I haven't really heard anyone talking about it. Even the way there during the week, he started Kane, brought Kane off, brought Son on. His handling of the squad over the last few weeks has been absolute support. And I don't hear anyone praising him for it. I just want to throw a bit of praise his way for that, really. I don't know what you think on it.
Yeah, no, I think it's been great. We've seen a very different Jose Mourinho to what we're used to seeing, and I've spoken with this quite a bit. Not only with his management of the squad as a whole, but his management of players individually, with the likes of Ndombele, the way it looked as though he was going to be on his way out this summer. I think Mourinho was one who was keen to make that swap deal with Inter Milan for Milan Skriniar, but in the end it was Daniel Levy who encouraged him to keep Ndombele. And look what's happening now. Ndombele's talking about how happy he is in his relationship with Mourinho. It's so different, and Mourinho, of course, has won a lot in his career. He's been a very successful manager. He's gone places and he's done things that were unimaginable. That Champions League with Porto, of course, being one of them. But I think in terms of his development as a man manager, I think we've got him at the best time of his career, and it's exactly what we needed, the change we needed to see from him as he was coming in to replace Pochettino to try and bring us into this next era. Because the concerns were, he forced Pogba out at Manchester United, he forced De Bruyne and Lukaku out at Chelsea. You can even include Mohamed Salah in that. Was he going to be the man who who forced Son out, who forced Kane out, who forced Hugo Lloris out. That was the biggest concern. But here we are with Kane and Son on the form of their career, and a lot of other players really getting back into form as well. I think Lloris, have we seen an error from him this season? I'm not sure that we have. Whereas that's been something that we've seen so much from him in the past. And I think we do have to give a lot of credit to Mourinho for that. He's been definitely better than what I was expecting him to be. I think from day one I said I'd back him as our manager, but I don't hold out too much hope. And it's looking to be a good decision right now. And I'm not sure I know what your opinions were on Mourinho when he was first appointed about a year ago.
Look, I like Mourinho. I was very happy with the appointment. We were talking how from Bournemouth. Look, no, not where we want to go.
Seems like a long time ago now.
Yeah. And even at the before end of last season, when I first started going on We Are Tottenham TV, because I was sick of people talking about the negative football, even though we were getting results. And that's when I started going on, and I was saying to him, look, guys, we have to thrive behind this guy. This guy's a proven winner. Okay, you may not like what we're doing, but we're getting results. We weren't under Pochettino. Look, as much as I love Pochettino, his time had come to an end. If we would have kept him last season, God knows what would have happened. I was always for Mourinho. Look, I can put that Chelsea thing aside because he's with us now. So I was always pro Mourinho. I think once you have a manager who's won so many trophies, how can you not get behind this guy? Look, this guy was at United. The main problem, he wasn't the problem at United. The problem at United is the players, and you're still seeing that now to this day. The likes of Pogba, Martial, they're moody players. They only play when they want to. Rashford's not consistent. The problem at United is the players. They think they're better than what they are. They don't want to do the running. Whereas when you see Harry Kane and Son, they're top-notch professionals. They want to do the running. They want to do the tracking back. They want to do the dirty work. Pogba and Martial and that don't want to know, and that's why United are where they are now. Mm-hmm. And they threw Mourinho under the bus. Mourinho ultimately lost his job because it was Pogba or Mourinho. Pogba won. It's not going to happen at Tottenham. Mourinho's always going to win. You see Daniel Levy, he is awestruck. It's like the first time. It's like Daniel Levy seeing a woman for the first time. The way he looks at Mourinho, he loves the guy. So for me, we have to try everything behind this guy. Transfer money, support. We have to give this guy what he wants. For me, he's the best manager we've had at this club since Harry Redknapp. Since Harry Redknapp, like in terms of a name. But as well, he has, I think it's 25, 26, 27 trophies. I'm not sure. It's one of them. So this is a guy we have to get behind. Everyone has to get behind him. And also what annoys me is as well, like, we can see one goal and you see everyone on all the live chats and everything else everywhere. Oh, it's boring football, or Mourinho has to go. And then when we win, they're all delighted. I'm sick of that as well. Like I'm always saying, patience. You have to be patient. Like this guy will get us across the line. So for me, I'm not sitting there worried too much this season because I know the mentality that this guy's brought to the team, even to the board, to Daniel Levy, just about wanting to be winners. This is the man going forward, and whether you like it or not, we have to get behind him. Yeah, no,
I agree with you. I saw a friend of mine put on Twitter last week or the other day about how football is the world's most reactionary sport. And I think you see that we go out and we lose against West Brom and it's like, oh, what's all this talk about Mourinho's winning mentality? Everything's gone wrong. Sack him now. We should have had Poch. And then we go out and we win a few games in a row and all of a sudden it's, oh, Mourinho's so much better than Poch. It's whatever's going on in this exact moment is all people seem to care about. And I think I would have thought that given what happened with Pochettino and how poorly he started and how that was kind of, for him, it was such a long game, I would have thought there would be a bit of a different opinion there about the fan base. But speaking of managers, speaking of Man U, a few people here asking about Pochettino. Will L said, anyone else happy United won today? I don't want Poch to go there. I picture Spurs facing them in the League Cup final and beat us. I hope he goes to PSG. Michael saying, I want the Poch to go to Juve. Mr. K saying Poch is definitely going to Man U. Writing is on the wall. Inat Nurse as well saying Poch is just like Mourinho when it comes to substitutions. As every day that passes, it does look a bit more likely. Manchester Evening News senior editor reported during the week that Man United have approached Pochettino. For me, the question is, does Pochettino even want that? Is that what he feels is the best next step in his career? Do you think we could see Poch at United before Christmas?
Look, the way I say it, if he wants to go to United, I'm going to hold no grudges. Let United have him. He's not going to be able to turn that around. The problem out there is the players. They spent $8 million on a centre back who, like Stevie Wonder, sees more than him, mate. He's useless. Luke Shaw, I've said it before, the guy breaks down more than Claude from AFTV. You have Lindelof. This guy, he Don't even get me started. Then you have Pogba. Everything about Pogba is his attitude. He just wants the ball. He doesn't want to do any work off it. There's only one player that you can allow to do that, and that's Cristiano Ronaldo. Martial, he's this guy. I don't know how he doesn't drive United fans around the bend. Anytime the ball's doesn't come to him or it's not passed, he's throwing his arms up in the air. And it's his attitude. Poch isn't going to save that single ship, and that's why they wanted this new European Super League. Because if you look around some of the leagues in Spain, you look at Barcelona, they're declining. Madrid are declining. They're afraid that some of these other teams are coming up and taking it, and you're seeing the new wave of European football, and they don't want it. But going back to Poch, he hasn't won anything. He's not going to win anything at United either. So as far as I'm concerned, they can take Poch, but if they're taking Poch, they need to invest and they need to go down Poch's route. I don't want to see Pochettino take the job and then being thrown under the bus by the players, because it'd be detrimental to him. And look, like I said before, I love Pochettino for what he gave us with the Champions League final and stuff like that. I'd love to see him get back into management. But United would be the wrong job for him as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, it's disappointing to see him go so long without getting the job. And he turned down Benfica in the summer. It looks as though he's turned down Zenit St. Petersburg as well. He's holding out for the right job. And as Steve says, Man United is a poison chalice. And his reputation, I suppose, to some extent has been damaged by the fact that he never won anything at Spurs. Even though for me, that's the fact that that's the biggest criticism kind of shows just how much he did, because Spurs back in 2014, the thought of a trophy was miles and miles and miles away, but that's the only thing in the end that we didn't get, and that is down to Pochettino. I think the problem, as you say, at United is the players, it's the board as well. And Pochettino will go there, he might get back for the first year, he might get back for the first 2 years, but as soon as he starts making a bit of progress, as soon as he gets him into the Champions League or maybe even wins a domestic cup, the back end's going to be stopped, and he's going to be in a situation where he's has a team that's going stale. Players are turning against each other, the fans are turning against the players, and it's just going to become completely toxic. And he may end up in the exact same situation he was at Spurs, where he's forced out and he's left out in the cold, and people saying, well, you kind of overstayed your welcome, it's all your fault. Whereas in fact you can definitely question a lack of backing from the board for his failures. And I don't want to see him go to United, I don't want to see him go to any other Premier League team, but as you say, you can't hold a grudge against him. He gave absolutely everything to us, it wasn't repaid from the board, and I do think his time at the club was up. He said it himself, he did feel as though it was coming to an end, but I often wonder, and I know he said it on Monday Night Football last week, I often wonder how different things would have been if in that summer where he didn't get anyone, if we did make one or two signings, even if it was just Jack Grealish, just to inject that kind of freshness into the team and give us another kind of dimension, give us something new. And he mentioned as well, if we had stayed at White Hart Lane, perhaps he would have won a league title that season as well. There's so many what ifs, there's so many maybes, but I can't hold a grudge against him, but I wouldn't like to see it happen, I suppose.
But look, it's interesting. It's interesting, actually. You mentioned him saying about the transfer window, if he would have bought anybody in that time. But he was also out in the press saying, we don't need anybody, I'm happy, and I can get why he done it. But at the same time, if he wants to try and force Daniel Levy and the owners and Enix's arm, he has to be out in the press saying, we need people in. It's as simple as that. So at the same time, it is his fault as well, and maybe that's a learning curve for him. But like he tried to come out and just give out the rhetoric that Levy wanted to give out, but we were sitting here as fans knew we needed to sign players. He wasn't fooling anybody. They were just looking stupid. He should have came out in the press and said, "Look, we need to get a couple of guys in and try and force Levy's arm." It's as simple as that. Yeah,
I think that's where the criticism comes in, with him being a yes man and him being kind of just the public figure and being too nice, I suppose, to call out Daniel Levy in public. And we've got Charlie THFC just joining us here. Charlie.
Hello guys.
Hi. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, I was going to come on earlier, but I was doing something, so I'm a bit late today. But good to be on again. How are you guys?
We're good. Good to talk about Pochettino and his potential move to Man United. Do you think it'll happen?
Well, look, of course, Ollie won today, of course, so the pressure's a bit off. But look, I mean, if he did go, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't want Poch. We've seen the miracles he did over at Tottenham. Look, it would be difficult to see. I don't want it to happen. I'm sure you guys don't want it to happen. But the thing is with Man United, I heard you say it on your stream the other day, that with Man United, it's an ongoing cycle. get a manager and give them a bit of money, and then it just keeps going. I don't know if you know what I mean. The same cycle where they don't back them and then they keep getting sacked. Like it's happened. They've had look how many managers they've had since Fergie. So I feel like maybe something similar could happen with Poch, because you saw what happened at Spurs when he didn't get back towards the end, and we know how it went sour. So look, I think he would take the job. I think he wants the job, because he said he prefers to return to the Premier League. So I think he does want the job, but it'll be very, very difficult to see, to be honest. So let's hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It would be. I think for a couple of years anyway, United would be a bit of a force to be reckoned with, and it'll become a tough team to beat, and there'll be confidence. There'll be everything around the United fan base that we've enjoyed not seeing for quite a while. Michael saying Poch deserved to be given more money than he did, consider here in Spurs a lot of money, and played good football up until he was sacked. Looking for a few more comments here. Darren saying Poch can do better than Man U. He needs to go abroad and return to Spurs after winning a league. DJ saying I'm more worried about his profile than the love of the game, like many of the businessmen nowadays. Charlie, actually interested to get your opinion on we meet West Brom tomorrow. We go top of the Premier League table. If it is only for a few hours, so be it. But are you looking forward to potentially seeing us top of the tree?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm confident. But look, and stuff. We've seen they've been a massive bogey team for us in the past, when they're under Tony Pulis and everyone like that, just very hard to beat and stuff. But now it's a completely different West Brom, a completely different set of players, different manager in Slaven Bilic, who plays a different style of football. So look, it's a game, as I said in my preview, that it's a game we should be going there and winning. If you look at the games we've got coming up after the international break, it's a huge game. Another huge game. I said it about the Brighton game, the Burnley game. These are games that we have to be picking up 3 points in if we want to be taken seriously this year. So, look, I'm confident. West Brom, they've had a poor start to the season. So I am confident. And I think, look, it's a game where if we execute our game plan and take our chances and come with the right attitude, then I think we should hopefully have too much for West Brom.
Yeah, fingers crossed. It's a game that we should be winning if we really do want to be taken seriously in any sort of a title race, title challenge, I suppose we do.
Yeah, I'll just add as well, I think it's a massive test as well for mentality. Can go top of the league. Like the players will know that. They'll know that we can make a massive step by going top of the league. Even if it's for a few hours, you're still top of the league. That's still something. It means you're up there. So I'm just hoping that it's a psychological boost rather than pressure. Because we've seen in the past so many times, but I'm just hoping tomorrow we'll know for sure that this is a new Tottenham. This is a new sort of mentality. So if we win, then it will be massive, absolutely massive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because the fan base will go off the charts if we end up doing it. Because, like you said, it just proves that the mentality, and then coming into the business end of the season, trust that they can get the job done. So whoever's talking now, it's going to be a lot louder after West Brom on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Like.
And there might not be the only good news we have in the coming week. We've heard a lot about a potential new contract for Heung-min Son. I'm sure it's going to put him on parity with Harry Kane up at the £200,000 mark. Money isn't our concern. That's for the club to deal with. But David, are you looking forward to seeing that contract get over the line?
Oh man, if we ever sell this guy, I'm going to be heartbroken. I love this guy. This guy for me is he's quality. I didn't expect the quality when we first signed him. I really didn't expect it. I was surprised. But this guy is our Cristiano Ronaldo. He does the step overs. He's able to put in. He's a great finisher. But as well, keeping him at the club is more. What he brings in merchandise from the Asian market, the revenue this guy brings in as well. There's no way we're selling him anytime soon. There's no way. He's way too valuable. Too valuable.
Massive asset, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's not even mentioning what he does provide in the pitch. Now, I do want to say there are over 100 people watching. There's only 25 likes, so we can get that sorted out. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to go down and smash that like button. A few people here talking about Pochettino selling Kyle Walker. I think he did want to go. There wasn't much Pochettino could do about that one. I think that would probably have been a Daniel Levy decision more than anything else. I suppose we might as well get some predictions, score predictions for the game tomorrow, starting with you, David.
I'm going to go 3-0. I'm hoping to see Bale start, but if not, I reckon Kane will get 2 and someone 1. But if Bale starts, I reckon we could spread it across the country and go 1 apiece. Like you guys are saying, there's no way we should be losing these games, especially if we want to take it seriously. We not even a draw good enough tomorrow. It has to be 3 points. And for me, I'm going 3-0.
Charlie?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 3-1. I think. Look, I've been quite conservative in my predictions. Haven't predicted a clean sheet because it's still a little bit unpredictable in that sense. But I trust that if we take our chances, show our attacking form that we have shown, then I back us to score a few, and I'm going to go 3-1. I think, as you said, David, we can't be losing these games. If you want to be taken seriously, you have to be beating the likes of West Brom and stuff. So look, I'll go 3-1. It's a different West Brom to the one we used to struggle against. So I'm hoping that comes to reality tomorrow.
Yes, a few here coming in the chat. Steve saying 4-1 to Spurs. Dearman saying 2-0. Pappy saying Josie won't let it win Sunday, and a couple of hours top the league go to their head. So West Brom 0, Tottenham 3. Mr. K saying 6-2. Leighton saying 4-0. And I think it will be a victory. I'm not sure how comfortable it would be. It's going to be a tough game, and you know we're expecting it. Credit to West Brom, they're not a good footballing team, but they do put a fight up to the big team. And I think I'm going to agree with you, Charlie. I'm going to say 3-1. I'm not entirely confident of our defence keeping a clean sheet, even against a team like West Brom. We can't do it against Shikendia. We can't do it against Ludogorets. I don't see us doing it against many Premier League teams. So I'm going to go for...
It'd be very, very interesting if we go 1 down tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's the mentality. Every time we go 1-0 down in recent game stuff, I'm like, right, is the mentality going to be the new Tottenham or the old Tottenham? Like that's always something that just is always in the back of my mind. I'm just like, is the mentality changed? Are we going to show that we're changing? Because I haven't mentioned it a lot. But if you look at, we talk about old mentality and stuff, but there was a common theme last year, especially, and even the year before, you could argue as well, where we'd go a goal down pretty early in the game, like let's say 20 minutes gone, and then for the rest, the game normally would end 1-0, and like I don't know if you guys noticed it, but it was an ongoing thing that I noticed. You look at it with Ajax in the first leg, Newcastle at home last year, both those goals were inside 20 minutes. You mustn't forget. You look at as well. I think even Man City in the league at home a couple of years ago, they scored after 6 minutes. Ended 1-0. It was an ongoing theme, which I don't think too many people have talked about. So I just want to know what you guys think about that.
Poch's philosophy was ease your way into the game. Our fitness levels would be superior than everyone else's. So come 60 minutes, we'll just be outrunning teams. But by then, you could already be 2-3 down, and we're chasing again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas Mourinho, you see it on the Mourinho, he's purposely targeted fast start. Yeah. And I understand why, because if you start these games fast and you can nick a couple of goals, or even nick a goal in the period when you're dominating, like all the other teams that then have to try and break you down. You're the one in control of the game. Do you know what I mean? And this is what Mourinho's trying to get through to the players. But also now the new message for me needs to be, when you're in control of the game, you need to stay in control of the game.
Exactly. You can't lose concentration. And this is something I said on my preview for the game today. If we go a goal up early, we can't sit back. We have to be ruthless. We have to keep going. Like we were in that first half against Ludogorets. I really did think we kept going. And like if you look at it against Brighton, I know we won the game in the end, but I'm saying we got the first goal. We sat back and we invited pressure on them. When you invite pressure, it's a very dangerous game. I'm telling you. I'm sure you guys know that, but it's a very, very dangerous game. And with any team,
I was saying to Matty there just about that. Do you think it could be a tactic that Mourinho is using in the early start, in the early games of the season, so that when it comes down to business end of the season, the kind of nerves is gone. They know they're able to do it. Do you reckon it could be a purpose he's doing this at this minute?
If that's the case, all I can think of is maybe it's just him trying to still understand what his best 11 is, what his best tactics are. I think it's probably a bit of that. Like, you mustn't forget, it's still reasonably early days with Mourinho. He's only been here, a year now, and he hasn't had a full season yet. So that's the only thing I can think of that it could be. He's still trying to understand the players, trying to get his best 11 and play to their strengths and weaknesses. So that's what I could think of it might be, possibly.
There's Stephen Frog here in the comments saying, as a Spurs fan, you were being biased. As a Spurs fan, I totally agree. So I love that from Stephen. It's so true. Will saying they'll sit deep.
Spurs show, yeah.
Huh?
He does know Spurs show, yeah.
I'm sure he does, yeah. But he agrees. We let him be. Will saying they'll sit deep. Spurs have to score early. Michael saying sometimes negative football gets results, and it's a platform to make us hard to beat if we listen to the manager. And I suppose this is kind of the way I've been looking at the Europa League this season. You know, not that I don't want us to, but I'm not going to ask of the team to go to Bulgaria and play Ludogorets off the park at 5-6 on a Thursday evening. I'm not going to want us to, beat Royal Antwerp 6-7-0 at home. It's about getting the results. And
exactly.
While you would want to see maybe in the Premier League a bit more of a kind of a system where we do have this free flowing football. We had this for so long under Pochettino. I think we're in a situation now in the Premier League where everything is so tight. We've seen, maybe excluding last season, it's been a while since we've seen any sort of team run away with the Premier League. It's always these fine margins, these 1 or 2 points, and I think I'd rather grind out a 1-0 win against Burnley than play exceptional football and draw 1-1 or draw 2-2. And it's all about it's a results business. It cost Pochettino. It's cost so many managers in the past. It is a results business, and all I want from West Brom tomorrow is 3 points. If they play with 90% possession and 40 more shots than us, but we get to 3 points, I think with the way football's going at the moment, especially how crazy this season has been, I do think that's all we can ask for. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like as you said, it's all about getting the job done. You were saying about the Europa League games in that group stage. It's just about getting the job done and trying to qualify as soon as possible, because eventually you're not going to really look back at those games, are you? So it's just about getting the job done. And as you said, even tomorrow for the West Brom game, these are the games you just have to be getting over the line. And if you look at exactly what we did at Burnley, we got over the line, which was just so crucial. I remember saying after that game how massive it was. It was just crucial that we got over that line. And as you said, under Poch, we played pretty football, but we didn't win anything, did we? So it's, look, with Mourinho, maybe the football will probably be less pretty, but if it wins us stuff, then we can't really complain, because that's all we want at the end of the day. As Tottenham fans, we know how desperate we are for trophies and stuff. And myself included, we're just sick of the stick we get from rival fans and stuff. It's something that's I've just completely had enough of, let's be honest. So look, this season has to be the one. If we can't do it this season, we're just cursed. Like I'll just be lost for words, to be honest. But look, I've said a few times, I do think we're going to win something this year, because it's Jose Mourinho's second season. We've seen how dangerous he can be for the rest of the teams and stuff. So yeah, it's just, as you said, it's important just to get over that line. And it's what title winning sides do. You just, no matter how you play, you get over the line. You find a way to win. But the thing is as well, it doesn't have to be either or. It can be both. There's going to be games where, like, look, where you don't turn up, you're not a creative best. You get out of there with a 1-0 win, maybe a 2-0 win because you've been lucky. And then there's games like Southampton where we turn up, we play them off the park, same as what we've done at Old Trafford. Absolutely school them. So it's going to be a bit of both over the course of the season. When I'm talking about winning ugly, I'm talking about winning ugly when we're not at our best. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, of course, you want to play pretty football and stuff, and then you do get those results. But when you're having a bad day, you just have to find a way. Like Liverpool, how many times did Liverpool do it last year? I remember there was loads of games where they were rubbish. I remember there was a few I watched; they were terrible, and I was surprised. I was like, how on earth did they find a way to win that? Like, it's what champions do. It's what champions do. You've seen it so many times. So as you said, it's not either. It can be both. That's definitely.
Yeah, I think Liverpool last season, I think it was 14 games by 1 goal margin. It's it's what title teams are made of. Even when you don't deserve the victory, you get the victory, and it's about the points. It's not about going away and being a bit unlucky getting a draw, even though you played well. It's about, no matter how you play, getting those 3 points. And Will is saying I would start Bale tomorrow. He's more creative than Luke Bergwijn. Bale and Kane linked up well on Thursday night. And I'm Charlie, just interested to get your opinion on the Eric Lamella injury. We know he posted on Instagram saying he's a problem with his foot and he'll be out for a while. No time for him in that just yet, but do you think Lamella will be a big loss to us?
Look, I mean, it's the same story with Eric Lamella. It happens every year. Like he'll just get some random injury and we'll never see him again for like 4 months. Like it just seems to be the same story. But look, he will be a miss. Of course, he's the type of player you need to like bring on when you're holding a lead. Just a pure shithousery with Lamella and stuff. You're going to need a type of player like him in your squad, and we know how much Mourinho loves him. So look, I think it could be a miss for us. I really do. I think it will be a blow to us losing him, because he's the type of player you just need in there sometimes to show a bit of grit and hold on just to help defend the lead. It's what he can do. And so I think that it's a blow to us. I do think it's a blow.
Yeah, definitely. And look, he's not the best footballer in the world. We're not gonna sit here and pretend that he is. But yeah, I agree. He's definitely going to be a loss to us. And hopefully it's not a long term injury. I was saying even a while ago that he has had these little niggles that have kept him out for quite a while. But hopefully this isn't one of them. I think we're probably going to wrap up this stream soon. Is there anything either you want to touch on before we go?
Just with Lamella, what makes Lamella so effective for us is his turnovers in the opposition half. Which means we don't have to do too much passing to get up there. That's what also makes this guy very effective. Like, I know he has an injury record and he will be a big miss. But that's also what makes this guy very effective. His turnovers in the opposition's half gives us quick counter attack. And against the likes of West Brom's and that, it's crucial.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
Marino certainly sees that value in him, which is what we need. And I know Charlie, you were saying he doesn't quite know his best 11 just yet, but I think he's slowly starting to figure that out. And if Lamella's going to be in that, we'll have to wait and see, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is. Now, just before we go, I do want to remind everyone that we do have channel memberships active on the channel now. As you can see there, we have 3 different tiers, starting at just £1.99 a month. So please, if you do want to support the channel and you want to get something back in return, make sure to hit that join button just below the video. And you can see a lot more of these two guys as well if you are new and you want to subscribe, because we do a Tottenham Fan Voice podcast every Friday. We missed it this week, but I hope the stream is enough of a substitute. So make sure to go down and smash that subscribe button. Charlie has a YouTube channel as well, Charlie THFC. Make sure to go and check him out as well. I want to thank the two of you, David, Charlie, for joining me today. It's been, again, as always, a pleasure to talk to you and get your insight, and it's always great having you on the channel.
It's no problem. It's been a pleasure, man. Thanks very much.
Yeah, been a pleasure, definitely, as always.